Hi guys, welcome back to classes. So, let me tell you, what are we going to talk about in class this week? So, my dear students, we're going to talk about women and children in our society, equality, roles, but not the bread, importance of women in science and decisions through the world, the Nobel Prizes, and states and past habits. Okay? Let's start with some exercises. So, think about these questions, guys. Number 1. The women and children have a leading role in international society. And number 2, have stereotypes about women and children changed in the last few years? Good questions. Historically, women have been alienated from manly activities, and the percentage of successful women in engineering or science fields is way too low for men. Children also are exposed to several situations such as violence, working early ages, or social inequality. Okay, we all agree on that, but wait a minute. We're not denying men don't suffer from any kind of injustice or social inequality. What if we look this statistically? This graphic belongs to the INEGI. You may know INEGI is very important to numbers in Mexico. Okay, so let's start. 2000 is marked in green, 2010 is marked on orange, and the blue color belongs to 2015. This is the graphic for men, this is the graphic for women. In 2000, 34.2% of men study, meanwhile in women is 31.4%. It's different, right? Now, in 2010, 40.8% of men studied, meanwhile 40.1% of women studied. Again, women are way too low. And now, in 2015, 44.6% of men studied, meanwhile 43.5% of women were studying. It's different, right? As I can remember, in Mexico we're more women than men. Interesting fact. Now let's move on with children in Mexico. Here we have a graphic talking about how many children in Mexico work. Here we have the 89% out of working. That means these children are not working. But wait a minute. Here we have the 11% of children working. 11% in Mexico means 1,320,000 of kids working. This is insane, kids. Just imagine. Instead of kids playing or studying or having friends, these kids are working. I don't know where. I don't know how. But kids working. That's not right. Let me introduce you someone. She is Malala Yousafzai. In her words, in October 2012, on my way home from school, a masked gunman boarded my school bus and asked, "Who is Malala?" He shot me on the left side of my head. I woke up 10 days later in a hospital in Birmingham, England. The doctors and nurses told me about the attack, and that people around the world were praying for my recovery. I was then I knew I had a choice. I could live a quiet life, or I could make the most of this new life I had been given. I determined to continue my fight until every girl could go to school. With my father, who has always been my ally and my inspiration, I established Malala Fund, a charity dedicated to giving every girl an opportunity to achieve a future she chooses. In recognition of our work, I received the Nobel Peace Prize in December 2014 and became the youngest ever Nobel laureate. But why Malala was attacked? Let's remember, guys, study is not a right, sadly, for many women around the world. In Afghanistan, women can't dress with skirts, for example. They can't show their knees, their legs. This is forbidden. So, Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan are a Sunni Islamic fundamentalist political movement and military organization in Afghanistan. They ask women in Afghanistan to be traditional. Be traditional means, women, you can study. Women, you can talk. Women, you can say a word. And Malala's desire to attend school was not right for them. So they decided to shoot her because she wanted to study. She wanted to be a better person. She wanted the same rights as men. Now let's read some stereotypes about women and children. Children don't understand. Women should be more feminine. I can tell you, you're very young to know. Children just can't help. Can someone help me to carry these boxes? Oh no, you're a woman. You couldn't. I'm tired to hear this, especially women, guys. What is a stereotype? An stereotype is an expectation that people might have about every person of a particular group. The type of expectation can vary. It can be, for example, about the group's personality, preferences, or ability, including your gender, women and men. Take a look at this picture. It's for the same brand of beer, but we have 50 years of difference. Take a look. What is different? What is she doing? What is he doing? What are they doing now? Is it different? I know, you may say, teacher, we all know that this doesn't happen anymore and this is very classic, this is a cliche. I know, but just think about it. 70 years ago, for example, this was okay, this was natural. This was what girls should do and what guys should do. Boys will be boys and girls will be girls. But I think it's different now, right? I want you to ask to your parents something. This is the chance you have if you have your parents or your grandparents at home. I want you to do these questions. How they lived when they were young. Number 1. Did your dad or mom notice some injustice to women? What was that experience? They were told something about their young age? Did they notice something different between you and them when they were kids? Read the links I left in the description box and think about this. On Friday, we'll discuss. Bien, chicos, para terminar, esta diapositiva trató sobre los roles de género, sobre cómo han cambiado. Yo sé que ustedes están en una generación muy diferente a la mía, a la de mis papás, a la de sus papás, a la de sus abuelos, bisabuelos. Conforme han pasado los años, nosotros hemos cambiado muchísimas cosas. Es cierto que algunas siguen sin cambiar, sigue habiendo injusticias. Y como les mencionaba hace rato, no estoy tratando de decir que los hombres no sufran ninguna injusticia, soy muy consciente de ello. Simplemente me gustaría que pensaran si esta injusticia es en ciertos campos, es en los mismos que las mujeres. Cuando se trata de estudios, ¿realmente las mujeres tienen las mismas oportunidades en el campo de trabajo? ¿Cuántos hombres ingenieros ustedes ven? ¿Cuántas mujeres ingenieras ven? ¿Hay una diferencia? ¿Hay una diferencia de cómo sus padres vivieron su infancia? Es decir, en mi infancia, si un niño llegaba a jugar con algo femenino, realmente se le marcaba. En la de ustedes no lo sé, por eso me gustaría que de aquí al viernes ustedes traten de pensar en todas estas preguntas que les dejo al final, que lo piensen y me digan si algo ha cambiado según su percepción. El viernes vamos a discutir sobre esto. Va a ser todo en inglés, ¿ok? Entonces, los dejo pensando esto. Esto es su único de verdad el martes. Abajo les dejo unos links donde hablan de Malala, donde hablan que es un rol de género, para que de una forma más informada y no simplemente en su percepción me pueden decir qué piensan de esto, ¿ok? Gracias y nos vemos muy pronto. Bye bye.